The EPA announced this week that chemtrails are not a thing. Lee Zeldin, Trump's EPA administrator, released a new study proving that those streams of white clouds following jets, those clouds you sometimes see in the sky, they are not the result of our government spraying harmful chemicals on us in order to control the population, bring the sperm cell count down of certain groups of people, destroy crops, and of course, change the weather. EPA says chemtrails aren't a thing. Not real. Lee Zeldin, EPA administrator, appointed by Trump, said there is a difference between what conspiracy theorists call chemtrails and what scientists call contrails. Contrary to what you might believe, they are not chemtrails you're looking at, they are contrails. Contrails, according to science, now, again, this is what science says, so take it with a grain of salt. Contrails are caused when water in jet engines begin to condense from the heat of those jet engines in flight, and then the water vapor is released into the atmosphere, and that water vapor goes from being incredibly hot to getting frozen because of the high altitudes in the atmosphere. And that's what you're looking at. Those are contrails. That's ice. That's ice, okay? But that's what scientists say. Marjorie Taylor Greene says chemtrails are real. And she's introducing legislation that forbids anyone from injecting chemicals into our atmosphere for the express purpose of altering the weather. Greene, as you know, has accused Joe Biden of sending hurricanes to deep red districts in the South before Election Day. Here's what she tweeted last year, a month before the elections. Now, she had done a series of tweets accusing Biden of using a hurricane machine. She said that Biden used a hurricane machine made by the Chinese to destroy red districts. And this is what she said a month before the election. Climate change is the new COVID. Ask your government if the weather is manipulated or controlled. Did you ever give permission to them to do it? Are you paying for it? Of course you are. Again, that's just one of her many tweets in the lead up to the November election, where she accused Biden and or China of having a hurricane-making machine. So her legislation, which will be introduced this week, is based on a similar bill that is now the law of the land in Florida, forbidding people from injecting chemicals into the sky. Unless, of course, those chemicals are injected by the fossil fuel industry, in which case, inject away. In Florida, it is against the law to seed clouds to create rain. But too little rain doesn't seem to be the problem in Florida. Bobby Kennedy Jr., who has helped give us measles, he's our nation's Director of Health and Human Services, he said in May of this year, as the Director of Health and Human Services, Bobby Kennedy Jr., said in May that the United States Defense Department was secretly injecting chemicals into jet fuel in order to spray dangerous solvents over the American people. He offered no evidence, and he didn't explain why the Defense Department would do something like that. But he did say forcefully, quote, "I will do everything in my power to stop it, to find out who's doing it, and to hold them accountable." This is what happens when you don't release the Epstein files, when the government is not transparent. People, his father and his uncle, died mysteriously, and the government has not been transparent. So it's very easy to start believing things that aren't real. Again, it's not like the Pentagon hasn't used unwitting Americans as test subjects for mind-altering drugs that resulted in several suicides. It's not like the government didn't use black sharecroppers in the Tuskegee syphilis study to determine how effective penicillin was in combating syphilis. I mean, our government did experiments on black sharecroppers. From 1931 until 1972, 600 black men, about half with syphilis, about half without, they were prevented from getting treated with penicillin in order to determine how the disease plays out. Many of the men died. They went blind. They suffered mental health crisis. That's what syphilis does. Look at Trump. I'm not saying Trump is suffering from syphilis, but that's what I hear. That's what people are saying. He shows the signs of syphilis. He had unprotected sex with Stormy Daniels. He doesn't like to use condoms, and people are saying that he has syphilis. I hope it's not true. But that's what I hear myself saying right now. Why would I hear myself saying it right now if it weren't true? I hope it's not true. That's what people are saying. Anyway, so a lot of these black sharecroppers brought the syphilis home to their families untreated, ended up having kids who were born with congenital syphilis, like Ivanka and Eric and Don Jr. were not. I don't believe that they were born with congenital syphilis. I don't know why people are saying it. I mean, maybe it's true. I don't know. I mean, they haven't shown me their tests. I mean, I don't know if Don Jr., Eric, and Ivanka don't want us to think they were born with congenital syphilis, why won't they release their syphilis tests? That's all I'm saying. I don't believe they have it. But why would I be saying this if it weren't true? Anyway, when the government does bad things, which our government has, letting men die from syphilis, if our government is capable of doing that and keeping it secret for 40 years, what else is the government capable of? Oh, I don't know. Killing about 20 million people in Indochina during the 60s? It's easy to believe these things. So I don't know what's in the Epstein files. Right now, on the right, they are blaming the devastating July 4th flash floods in Texas on a company called Rainmaker that seeded 2 Texas clouds 48 hours before the flash floods hit. That's illegal now in Florida. You can't seed clouds. Augustus Dorico, the CEO of Rainmaker, confirmed that his company, by sprinkling silver iodide into the air, created 0.5 millimeter of rain for a farmer in Texas desperately in need of water for his crops. People on the right blaming him for the flash floods, which is exactly what Texas Republicans want people to believe, right? They want you to believe someone is messing with our weather, just as long as nobody ever believes someone is messing with our climate. Because then instead of blaming some pilot and a crop duster for the flash floods, we'd end up blaming the real culprits in all this, ExxonMobil, who heated up the planet. And when you heat up the planet, you make hurricanes and thunderstorms deadly.